Jesus stood on the mountaintop and talked to his disciples, and from them to the crowds beyond them. And he said, the kingdom of heaven is like x squared minus x minus 1. Thomas looked at Peter. What does he mean? Don't worry. It's just another one of his parabolas. Don't judge me. Got that out of a book by my former dean and one of my classmates. But it's a nice pun in Greek. Our word parabola comes from the same Greek particles as parable. It comes from the words meaning to throw alongside. Parabola is the path of anything projected or thrown, and a parable is an analogy. Something thrown alongside, an analogy, a comparison to give us an idea of what one really means. Jesus explains in a few passages earlier that the reason he tells parables is in some sense to educate. It's a way of speaking such that people who get it will get it, and people who are not in the know will be confused. It's fulfilling Isaiah, those who have ears won't hear, those who have eyes will not see. They will misunderstand. And that's how he's bringing about the kingdom. And he tells the disciples, to you is given, as we translate it usually, the secrets of the kingdom. But the word secrets there is actually mysteries, mysteria in Greek. As we've talked about before, mysteries are initiation rites in the ancient world. They're forms of education. And because they're not visible or seen by those on the outside not being initiated, it becomes to mean secrets or puzzles. But parables are part of how Jesus educates us, educates the disciples, and who will go on to educate others. It's how God initiates us into a greater understanding of the kingdom. And we, educated in that, are able to participate in God's judgment, in God's bringing about of the kingdom of heaven. Hope we haven't seen, but one day we will. And while this is a parable about God's judgment, if we look at it closer in the mysteries that God is bringing to us, that Jesus is walking along with us in, then we see it's not a parable only about God's judgment, but about withholding ours and participating in God's. This parable teaches that we are to withhold judgment. It's very easy for us to categorize, to compartmentalize good, bad, right, wrong, good people, evil people, better people, lesser people. You can see that in all the binaries we produce. Men, women, black, white, rich, poor, cis, trans, gay, straight. In every one of those binaries, one is better than the other. That's why we create them, to sort in our own thinking. And Israel, the disciples, we are eager for the day when good is rewarded and evil is punished. We are very eager for the great harvest where the wheat is gathered into the barn, that is the kingdom of heaven, and the chaff and the weeds are burned. Feels good. It's a rush of cursing power and righteousness, particularly self-righteousness. But that's not what Jesus says. Jesus knows that we are like those workers, too eager to find the wheat in the weeds and declare which they are. Jesus and the master of the story tell us to wait, to withhold judgment until things are revealed for what they truly are. Because if you go weeding now, you'll uproot everything good with it. You will become the very thing you hate, something that chokes the good and the right and the beautiful. So wait, withhold your judgment until things are revealed, until the mystery becomes plain. There are many parables about withholding judgment. I'm partial to the one about the farmer who lives alone with his, not lives alone, because he has his son with him and a single horse. And one day the horse runs away and the villagers say, "Oh, what a tragedy." And the man says, "Maybe." And one day the horse comes back miraculously, bringing 7 wild horses with it. And the villagers say, "Oh my gosh, that's so fortunate." And the man says, "Maybe." His son tries to break one of the wild horses, tame it for work here on the farm, and he breaks his leg and the horse bucks. All of the villagers say, "This is a terrible tragedy. How unfortunate for your son." He says, "Maybe." Several soldiers come in weeks later, demanding conscripts for the army. The old man is exempt because of his age, and the son is exempt because of his leg. And all the villagers say, "You are very lucky." And he says, "Maybe." We have to give things time because we're ignorant and things are hidden from us. Thanks to a lot of you and donors who aren't even a part of the St. John's anymore, give generously to the rector's discretionary fund. And this is a charitable fund that I, like I said, is my discretion, am able to distribute to those in need. We get a lot of phone calls and a lot of folks coming to the church needing something or other. Rent, medical bills, gas bills, and more. And one thing I quickly realized is that it's very hard to tell the difference between a con artist and someone who's just been driven mad by the world. You ask the responsible questions. Have you gone to other resources? I can refer you to the county. Chances are they have gone to the county, and they've encountered a brick wall of requirements and more. Or just indifferent people or overloaded people. They've talked to the bill collectors. They've talked to their friends. And they're still here. Now, a con artist will rattle off a frantic story just to get you, to pressure you into just giving them whatever. But a person who has a lot of need and has been through a lot will be equally frantic in talking to you. Equally urgent. How do you give responsibly in that situation? When you don't know who the good people are, who the worthy poor are, and who's unworthy. Maybe we should stop thinking in terms of worthy and unworthy. So for at least a year, I gave to anyone who asked. And the fund dwindled very quickly. Nowadays, I kind of split the difference. I gave half of what was left to Western Fairfax Christian Ministries so they could distribute to folks in Centreville. And that way I could give a little bit to any parishioner who asked and the occasional person who came to the door. I don't say no, because I don't know who's worthy or unworthy. We are trained not to judge. That's God's vocation. We withhold our judgment and participate in the creation of the kingdom of heaven. We participate in God's holding to account. Because it's not the people. It's not the fault of what we would consider the leads. It's not the fault of folks. It's not evil people. We read this parable and we're thinking about sorting people. Good people, bad people. Good groups, bad groups. But that's not what's happening here. Jesus actually says the things that cause sin and sin doing things. And you could assume those are people, or you could look at the things that trip people up and the evil inside us that does things. It's not us that tries to trick people into giving us money, or one thing that tries to hurt other people. It's the hurt inside us, as the Apostle Paul says today. It's the flesh living according to the flesh. It's the hurt that hurts. It's the greed and the pride and the selfishness and the viciousness and the cruelty and self-righteousness that hurts other people. It's not us doing that stuff. It's what trips us up and has a hold on us that does those things. It's the incentives and indifference that we encounter. There are all kinds of parables about this in economics. Did you know in the latter part of the 17th century, prison transport survival rates to Australia jumped from about 70% to 99%. You know why? I don't expect anyone to know about prison transports to Australia. But they would pay captains per prisoner in London or whatever port you were at. When they started paying for who arrived in Australia, then everyone survived. It's the incentives at work. You know, there's an anecdote about which is now called the Cobra effect. And it deals with this anecdote, it probably didn't really happen, about the British Raj in India deciding that someone had to do something about all the poisonous cobras. So they put a bounty on dead cobras, and you could go to whatever local station and say, I've killed, however many cobras, give them the bodies, and you would get money. Well, that creates a perverse incentive. People started breeding cobras so that they could kill them and go get money for them. These aren't evil people. Prison transport guy is probably a little cruel, but these aren't evil people. They're responding to the incentives they're given. They're not evil people. They're not weeds to be burned. They're hurt people, trapped in things that trip them up. Maybe it's their own stubbornness and they need to get out of their own way. Maybe it's, traumas from the past, or maybe it's just unjust systems and histories hundreds of years ago stacked against them that puts them there. God doesn't come to burn people. Jesus arrives to burn the things that hold us down and hold us back inside. And hold us down and hold us back in the form of unjust and indifferent systems. Look to the systems driving inequality and injustice and dismantle those incentives that tragically or comically set us against ourselves, each other, and our God. As the letter to Ephesians tells us, our enemies are not flesh and blood. Our enemies are the rulers, the authorities, the cosmic powers, the spiritual powers of evil in the heavenly places. It's the doers of evil, not the people. The evil being done by things that have a hold of us. That's what needs to be burned. We want to sort. We want to substitute our own judgment for God's. But Jesus teaches us to wait until things are revealed for what they are. When the evil cosmic powers reveal themselves as things that are choking the wheat in our lives. And we go after those things in due time. We withhold our judgment to participate in God's holding us and one another to account. 2 wind turbines stood in a field. One said to the other, "Hey, what kind of music do you like?" "Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a huge metal fan." Don't judge me. Parables are an education in the kingdom. They are thrown alongside our experience to illuminate it, so that the righteous in us shines like the sun, and the things that hold us down and hold us back are burned and left behind. We withhold our judgment to participate in God. So tell your bad jokes. Tell your story. Seek the truth fruit, the wheat, the great shining good in yourself and in one another. And don't judge.